And we're live. Good evening, good afternoon, good night, wherever you may be, and welcome to another scene in Living World of Darkness, Mage from the Ashes. The scene is set in the Mageling Chantry, where one of the young stars of the show, Miss Ava Lindgren, finds herself in her room working at a task set before her by the Order of Hermes. She fights, bigger quotes, with a literal wall of text, or more specifically, a bed sheet of text. And it is here that we begin our scene.
So Ava has this sheet spread out on the floor of her bedroom. The bedroom, for once, like actually the first time since she has taken this bedroom, the door is closed. She's not feeling specifically comfortable with that yet, but you know, it's a thing. It needs to happen. And she is looking over this text, little puzzled about how to go about this. She basically knows one of the languages that this text is written in, but not all of them. And she needs to find a way to translate this shit. Now, she's gone to the library before, actually, more on like a random search of some information that could be useful to her in general, and has stumbled upon this little inkling of knowledge. It's basically enough for her to come up with some ideas that technically everything holds a spirit, and people relate to the spirits and pray to these spirits, and then you know yeah, like Native American, indigenous American, whatever you prefer to call it, or also like some tribes in Africa, or even like the more Asian cultures. And spirits basically pop up everywhere, even in like some European um, mythology and shit. So, and plus, of course, nowadays, New Age. Which Ava has some experience in from almost, it feels almost like a previous life. So, armed with that knowledge, she goes over the sheet again and slowly comes up with an idea for which she first has to go to either a liquor store or maybe just a kitchen, depending on what kind of booze they have in the kitchen. So, her first search is definitely going to go to the kitchen of the Chantry, where she's going to look up like let me see what would be an Italian drink. She's probably going to try to find either a mead or an ambrosia. She's going to find ouzo, and I have no idea if there's like an Arabic, a specific alcoholic drink.
Due to the fact that most of the Arab Peninsula is Muslim and alcohol is forbidden,
Yeah.
you might need to spike something. I'm willing to say that as
Or
far
is
as
there another drug that is mainly used in Arabic cultures?
Google it. As far as your little trip to the kitchen goes, uh, there's no ouzo because no one
Ah,
drinks that shit. Um,
it's a shame because it's good.
Freaking horrible. Yeah. So there's no ouzo, there's no Greek drink, there's no
Okay.
ouzo, there's no tsipuro, there's no Greek booze because no one in the chantry drinks it, at least to my knowledge. Uh, as far as mead and ambrosia, these are the weirdest things you could think of. But I'll give it this. There's a bottle of wine. It's made in Tuscany. Tuscany is in Italy.
It's fine enough. That's good
With
for
with
her.
with your with your academic knowledge, you pretty much figure out that without giving it too much thought, that The Roman Empire made wine in Tuscany. Tuscany has been making wine for the best part of 3,000 years. It's a
Yep,
decent stretch.
it works. So she'll grab the bottle of wine before someone else does, looking at you, James, and brings it to her room. Quickly, kind of still like hides the sheets actually under her blankets on the bed, and yeah, she has to go to a liquor store.
Stealth roll.
Yep. Oh boy.
Ta-dam,
Yeah,
ta-dam,
it feels like that indeed. Let me go to the dice roller.
ta-dam, 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 ta-dam.
Wait, I need to check my sheet real quick. Do I have? Yeah, 3 dice.
And alternate identity, don't forget
Oh,
that.
right. Yeah, that's 2 extra, right?
One per dot.
Oh, 1 per dot. Okay,
No,
so
no, 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 two per dot, two per dot, two per
per
dot.
dot.
Sorry,
Yeah, I thought so.
sorry.
That's cool. She's good.
Like a boss.
Well, I wouldn't say like a boss, but it's decent enough.
Like the world's most awful ninja, she strolls out of the chantry
Yep.
and to the nearest liquor store. Where
Yeah.
you find general average Joe liquor store vendor. That basically looks at you and says, "So, what can I get you, honey?"
Um, I am I'm going to this Greek themed party, and we're basically it's like a Dutch party, so we have to bring our own booze. And I figured to go in style. So do you have something like something Greek?
He looks at you, like cocks his head, scratches his head a bit. Great. Let me think. Let me check in the back. Uh, goes to the back, comes out with 2 bottles, puts them on the table, and says, "This is the best I got."
Okay.
There's a bottle of Tsipuro,
Hmm.
which is like Uzo except stronger and less licoricey, and a bottle of Uzo.
I mean, I really doubt Ava has ever drunk either of them. So she's like, you know what? I'll just take both of them. Trying to look as confident as possible because, for American standards, she's underage. Not for European standards, but for American standards, she is.
You should have forgot to mention that because the guy's
I
gonna
am.
look at you and say, "Yeah, I might have to see some ID."
Oh God. She is going to. I wouldn't say flirt. I mean, yeah, I think she's going to flirt somewhat.
Oh Jesus, do it. I need to see this. Flirt with the sleazeball.
Yeah, exactly. So that would be
Depending on how you
appearance,
you go with it, gonna say
appearance or charisma, empathy.
depends. Yeah, you could have a little heart to heart and make him understanding. Okay, it's gonna be either
Okay.
charisma, empathy, or appearance,
Okay, well, that's
empathy, or
literally.
subterfuge, depending on how you want to go with it.
I'll go with empathy. It gives me a die more, and I have both are the same dice roll, both charisma and appearance.
Okay, so you're trying to make
Um,
him be understanding.
yeah.
And okay, say what you want to say and roll afterwards.
Okay. So, she's going to lean over a little bit, and it's like, I am really sorry, I forgot my ID. I do have my My student card, or my actually, I do have my green card. Would that be okay?
Now roll it.
There's a 9 and a 6.
2 successes, not that bad. Let's see.
Jesus fucking Christ!
He looks at you. Sorry, honey. Gonna need the driver's license or something. Something better than that.
I don't have a driver's license. I'm not from the States. I'm from Europe.
You're one of those freaky dick Europeans and get shit faced the second they turn 18.
I mean, yeah,
Uh, Sorry, honey. Different country, different laws.
she's gonna make a sad face. It's like, but uh, it's just for a party. I mean, you understand, right? It's already hard to fit in when you're like not from around here, and I really want to make a good impression on them. Can I roll again?
Yep.
That's 4. That's a good roll. That's a really good roll. And that's a shitty roll. Ha!
He looks at you and gets. Okay, fair enough. But just, and he puts a finger up. Just this once, and because you asked nasty.
Thank you so much. That is, I am so happy you understand. Thank you.
He gets a bag and like packs them for you. Like he looks sideways to see if there's anyone else around. Just like, yeah, I'm selling alcohol to a kid. I could get arrested for this. Though she's technically not the kid. And be like, takes the money, packs everything up, hands you the bag. If you're going to that great bar, don't forget to try that tzatziki sauce they have. Heard it's great.
I'll definitely do so. Thank you so much. And she'll like basically leave some extra money on the counter, you know, because the guy's been really nice.
He takes the money and says, God bless, have a nice day.
You too. Have a nice day. And yeah, she'll go back to the chantry. And I was like, surprised she pulled this off.
Get back to the chantry, like the world's worst ninja. Um,
I was gonna say, do you need me to roll again?
nah, okay, you've got the liquor store pretty close by, so
Cool.
just gonna say that technocracy are on their coffee break right now. Yeah, so you get back to the chantry. You have your bottle of Uzo. You have your bottle of Tsipuro.
Mhm.
You've got your bottle of Italian wine.
Yeah. And then she just needs to find something. She is, as the player, is gonna make a quick Google, which I should have done before leaving because there's a chance I have to get out and go to the same guy again and be like, hey, or probably another one, and then do this all over again.
You could roll me a research roll and I could give you the information.
Okay, that's also fine. Um, so intelligence research.
To be- Or computers if you want to Google it.
Um, same fucking dice roll again. It's the same amount of dice I have, I believe, for both. No, actually, I have more in research, so I'll just go with research. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, fair enough. You Google it and find out that even though alcohol was prohibited and is prohibited, one of the most famous way of achieving um, ecstatic states and states of like clearer consciousness and basically mystical trances was chewing on fat that had coffee seeds in it. So coffee is your best bet as far as the Arabic Peninsula goes.
Huh. Interesting.
Surprisingly convenient.
Yeah. So yeah, she'll go to the kitchen again, um, and yeah, goes to make a pot of very strong coffee as sort of a substitute thing.
You have your very, very strong coffee.
Yay! And
And
then she's
you,
gonna
you,
go.
you, you might go a bit overexcited to a point in which you made something that isn't exactly fit for human consumption.
Whatever.
As you pour it in the cup, it pours down like warm honey. Like it's dense and black.
It's like motor oil.
Yeah, basically, yeah. You made something that basically is not fit for human consumption.
I mean, what I'm gonna do is definitely not fit for human consumption anyway, so this is gonna go damn well, I'm thinking.
Fair enough.
So, what she's gonna do is she pours the cup half full of this coffee and brings the rest in like a thermos flask along because you never know if this fails, you might have to try it differently. Um, so she pours the cup half full, then adds the ouzo to it, adds the other Greek one to it, adds the wine to it. Looks at this cup and is like, "Oh my god, this is probably gonna taste horrible." Waits for it to be cooled off, although with like the colder alcoholic beverages through the hot coffee,
The,
it will
the, the,
probably
the
be
fumes that that thing exudes. There, there, there's this strong fume of oak. Like not oak. Sorry. What was the other? Of like grape, but like ripe red grape.
hmm
Very sweet, very tangy. On top of that, there's the very strong smell of licorice, because ouzo.
hmm
This very strong smell of this very rich, elaborate Arabic coffee. And on top of all that, the fumes of alcohol that could basically knock off a person. The strong, vivid smell of this like medical grade almost alcohol is very strong, very pungent. Basically, it doesn't knock you down, but like the moment the fumes hit your nose, you like feel the need to like take a step backward.
yeah. Okay, so she basically has her magic concoction there, which is definitely what it smells like at the moment. Uh,
It's more of a potion than a cocktail. I'll give you that.
yeah, definitely. Oh God. And yeah,
And actually, just because I remembered that Ava knows Latin, and I forgot whether I mentioned this to you or not. The Latin, the very nice medieval church Latin that everybody knows and everybody studied, uh, kind of doesn't make sense. It's
hmm.
kind of gibberish. It's uh, sky, foot, house,
Huh.
potato, door. Uh, uh, like the words make sense by themselves.
Mm.
They
Yeah, just
hardly form a sentence.
yeah. Okay, that's fair. I mean, this is why she'll support the wine in, right? So basically, what she's going to do is she is going to try and find a spirit of language, and then specifically these three languages, which is why she has like the intoxicating stuff from like the home countries of these languages, and she's she's not really gonna find one, but she's going to try and send out like a call for help into the spiritual realm. Um, not quite sure. Let me think. So what she's going to do is she's going to drink the stuff.
Stamina roll.
Yeah, I'll start with that. Oh boy, it's a fail, not a botch.
You are so drunk, but oddly so freaking hyperactive.
This is your medieval version of a vodka Red Bull.
This, yeah, it's basically you're as hyperactive as you are incoherent. Your portrait just starts speaking like this, but you're very happy about it.
Um.
Yeah, so Ava basically turns into the Duracell bunny that had one too many vodka shots.
Oh God. Um. Yeah, which basically allows her to at least it's part of her ritual basically. Um. And I think she's going to uh actually use Latin, probably like the version she knows at least, to literally, I'm sure there's like a Latin song that she might know, which she's going to sing pretty poorly because she doesn't have any dots in performance singing or something to establish her call for help.
Just for the sake of fun.
Hmm.
Roll it.
Okay, so that will be charisma performances since I don't have performance, or
Difficulty
actually
7.
art. She would probably write her own song. I'm just thinking because she has art poetry, so she could definitely write up her own lyrics while being drunk as shit on
Okay,
this stuff.
let's go with the poem, not the song.
Yeah. And then call out in rhyme to the spirits. So that would be this is pretty decent.
2 successes.
Yeah.
Hardly a classic, but due to your research of some weird 11th and 12th century German drinking songs, uh, that end up with you start from a line, from 2 lines actually, in medieval Minnesänger, medieval troubadours drinking song. Um, which, if I can find a good translation in English for it, I might actually. Uh, yeah, it's a play on words. It ends with "May God be merciful to this drunkard." Uh, we can talk about after the scene. Uh, you figure out, okay, maybe getting drunk and singing to God or to any religious entity for that matter might not be that off.
No, exactly.
There are hymns to Bacchus and to Dionysus in ancient literature. People did this, so yeah, it's a cry for help. You're crying to whoever's gonna hear you that you need help, and you had one too many.
Yep, so it's probably a very loud cry, so I really hope there's no one out in the hallway right now. As her door, by the way, is of course closed. Just gonna say that. I'm not
Yeah.
quite sure how soundproof that shit is.
People probably are gonna hear that, but I'll let people react in their own way to that. Yeah, so Ava gets into this really dramatic mood of reciting it like it is the pinnacle of literary art, almost standing on her bed and pulling out the Hamlet, to be or not to be. Uh, in this case, to be or not to be drunk.
Drunk.
But yeah, you send out this call.
I mean, I take it. You want me to roll irritate for actually sending out the real call?
You send out the call to your neighbors initially. To everyone in the chantry who hears this wonderful piece of drunken poetry from a very hyperactive and semi-incoherent Ava, which I'm gonna ask you to put in the gossip thread at some point after this thing
Yeah,
is
yeah,
done.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But roll me your rarity.
Okay.
And are we
So,
aiming for a number of successes here? Because are we making this a ritual? Are we making this a
yeah, I'm
one-off
making
thing?
this a ritual. Yeah, there's enough booze and everything for a second fill if need be. So,
Okay.
so I'm aiming for I think I'm gonna aim for basically the 10 successes I had first, like in the first part as well.
Fair enough.
So yeah,
Okay, so your difficulty is going to be. I think it's. If it's not vulgar, it's the highest spheres plus 3, so I'm gonna say it's going to be
fine.
5.
Okay.
Due to the fact that. Okay,
That's
so that's 3.
3. That's 5. So how many rolls can I make before I need to roll stamina?
Uh,
3, right? I thought for
think.
rituals.
Yeah.
Okay. So second or third roll. That
That's
is
6 successes.
6
Now
successes.
roll me your stamina.
Stamina. Yeah.
That's a fail.
Yeah, so that means I have to roll willpower to see if I can keep
Yeah.
going. Yeah. What is actually my willpower? Ah, right. Almost rolled the die too much. I barely make it.
You barely make it. Continue rolling at difficulty 6.
It's another success.
7 successes.
Okay. 9 successes. 10. 11, actually.
11. Nice. Okay, so you send out your awkward cry for hours and hours. You keep repeating that poem.
It's like 2 hours or so, I believe.
Yeah, you keep repeating that poem, and it gets to a point in which you, after the first 2 or 3 tries, you recite it reflexively. You already know it by now. Halfway through this, you feel the alcohol is stronger than the coffee. So that buzz kind of goes, and you almost lose your focus, and you almost skip a word. You manage to pull yourself and finish the line. You reach for the thermos, you grab another drink of your potion. It makes you cringe because it doesn't taste good. It's not the point. Somewhere in the back of your mind, there's the thought that it tastes bad, so it has to work. And you continue. You continue. And you send out this cry through worlds and space and distance to something, to someone. You send out this weird drunken cry. And I'm gonna ask you to roll me a luck die and call it before you roll it.
Fate die?
Yep.
Okay. So I take it odds or evens or something
Yep.
like that?
Yep. Yep.
Okay. I am going with evens. Even Steven. Yes, I'm good.
You fall down on your ass on your bed
Of course.
of this drunken stupor. You fall on the side with your head hitting one of the pillows and your eyes barely open. For a moment there, you get the feeling that maybe it was a bit of a stretch. But then you feel something. There's a familiar air. It gets hot in the room. It gets dry. It gets. You feel the smell of this really thick floral perfume of dust. You hear noises in the distance of children playing, of metal clanking, of um, horses' hooves. And you see a white silhouette materializing. You see houses behind her, very, very blurred. She steps towards you, and after about a minute of complete and utter confusion, because you don't know what happened, this lady appears in front of you.
Oh god, I have seen this before.
She looks at you with a mixture of confusion and, to be frank here, maybe a bit of disgust.
That's fair.
Like, yeah, drunken college chick. She takes a very comfortable position on the floor. She just like sits on the floor, her legs to her side, puts her hands on her lap, and looks at you. And with the exact tone of voice and a different accent, but with your exact tone of voice, your exact voice, you basically hear your voice coming out of her mouth. You have called me, my child.
Whoa. I did. I I I called. Wow. I didn't expect to see you. As she as Ava's kind of trying to sit up and focus more on the figure in front of her. Are you a spirit? What?
As some may say,
Huh.
I have lived
I mean,
this. Go ahead.
Ava reaches out to see if she can actually touch this woman.
She moves back a bit when you want to touch her, like not letting you touch her on the first try.
Mm-hmm. Uh, Ava, Ava is curious, but also pretty drunk. So unless you want me to roll it, I'm just gonna make the call that it's not worth the effort for her to even to reach out even further. But like I said, unless you want me to roll curiosity for that.
Yeah, roll it.
Okay,
Because
sure.
a woman just appeared in the middle of your bedroom, and she looks like you, and you've seen her before.
Mm-hmm. I'm good.
Yeah, you're safe. But between focusing on your task, your heart beating to the point in which you think it's gonna burst out of your chest, the cocktail inside your belly almost wanting to to go out for air,
Yeah,
you feel it's not worth the hassle to go in.
exactly. uh, I saw you before in my uh in a dream. I did I did a thing. It wasn't a dream like a normal dream thing. Did you know that? No, of course not.
I did not know, and I did not know then. I know now, but I can't say I wasn't expecting it.
Why do you look like me? Why do you sound like me?
Maybe because we're related. Maybe because
You're like my
years
great.
ago we were the same.
Wait, what? I mean, you're like my great, 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 and so on. Grandmother or something?
She gives you a very warm smile. Maybe.
Maybe. That's nuts. Hey, I found your scroll
My letter.
letter. Yeah, sure. I don't know, 'cause I kind of can't read it. Even the language on it that I do understand, I don't understand. She kind of pulls on, actually realizes that she's sitting on top of it, so she'll stand up, sway back and forth as she's steadying herself, and then grabs like the sheet from under her blanket on the bed and just kind of clumsily spreads it out on the floor. I got this far.
That means that someone has set up a test for you. She grabs her sleeve and raises it up, and you see her Black Panther tattoo on her forearm, on the inside of her forearm. Maybe them?
Uh, what is that?
The mark of the Sheshati,
What? I don't know.
the sisters of House Shea.
Oh, yeah. I'm trying to uh become their apprentice.
I see. There
Sorry
is
if
some.
I'm not really making a very good first impression. Yeah, sorry about that. Normally I'm not this uh like this.
The blood of the Varegs runs faster when aided by the fruit of the vine,
With blood of who now?
the Varegs. I
I don't.
I could translate it for you,
You could?
but that would not be a test.
Oh, right. I wasn't supposed to call for help.
This is
Did I fail now?
This is not exactly calling for help. You were instructed to ask help from nobody. I'm a spirit, not a body.
Yeah, that's kind of true, I guess.
Sit up straight.
Oh, uh, yeah, sure. She sits up a little less, tries to sit up, less slouching.
Grab a quill and a parchment.
She'll stand up and goes to her desk and grabs like the quill that she got for her birthday and grabs her dream diary.
Uh, Out of character for expedience sake, I'm not gonna narrate everything, but she basically very kindly, very motherly walks you through the passage in Greek, pronounces every word with poetic poetic emphasis, tells you uh, tells you the meaning of the word, tells you you have a feel of the soul of each word. Uh, she does the same for the Arabic ones. She does. Um, it's a weird type of lesson, moral lesson, linguistic lesson. She does something that you might have read about that the Romans used to do. So basically, learning history, culture, geography, and everything via grammar and using grammar and grammatical analysis on poems. Um, and yeah, she gives you have in front of yourself inside your dream diary the last two parts, the part in Greek and the part in Arabic translated in English. The first part of your task is done, my child. We shall see each other once more. She gets up, she stands
Wait,
up.
uh, um, do you have a name? I mean, you do have a name. Can I know your name?
You can, if you work for it. She gives you a kind smile. And she stands up and puts a hand on your shoulder. She's very much alive. She feels very much like a human being. Put a hand on your shoulder.
Whoa.
You even feel her clothes. You feel her the part of her sleeve that's touching you. Feels like wool. It's wool. Uh, and she gives you a little kiss on the forehead and says, "My name is Sophia." And she vanishes. And as she vanishes, you pass out because of
Fair.
the booze, because of the coffee, because of the strain. You pass out. You wake up probably a couple of hours later with make me another stamina roll.
I was gonna say pretty much a hangover or like poisoning.
Make me another stamina roll.
I don't think she's gonna wake up with fucking stamina rolls like this.
Let me see. Give me a second.
It's a fail. 4 and a 3.
Yes, you get. Give me a second because I'm trying to change the overlay. Mhm. Yeah, you get the mother of all headaches.
Mm-hmm.
And you also get like a sharp pain in your chest, like something tried to crawl outside of it. there's a headache. There's like this hangover slash I didn't sleep in the right position slash yeah. But you have the entire text translated.
Yep.
The other two parts don't make any sense at all. It's like I said, window sky potato door.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, you have a feeling there's a code behind it. That there's something that you also need to decrypt.
Mm-hmm. I think Avaverse is gonna make a trip for to the bathrooms and the shower and getting rid of this because like literally she can't work if she is having this terrible hangover slash caffeine hangover-ish thing. I don't even know how to call it. And like I don't know if you want to continue this or you want to
Yep,
basically
yep,
end it.
yep, 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 yep.
Then
Let,
yeah, I think after like her puking out everything that she still has in
okay,
her.
call me a luck die, odds or evens, and I'm gonna roll it.
Even odds. Sorry, odds. Gonna odds it this time. No,
It's even.
it's even. I'm
Yeah, you're after your little shower, like the chest pain goes. Like, okay, you can, but you still have that headache. It's not as bad as it was, but it's still a headache, and it hurts.
Oh yeah.
You feel that through your natural ability to focus on things, you can power through it. But yeah,
Only merit.
you've got this weird little text in front of you that makes doesn't make that much sense.
Okay. So it looks like a code. So can I technically use cryptography on it?
Yes, this
Okay.
is the ideal situation to use cryptography.
Yay!
But since you kind of slumped and slipped, gonna say your intelligence is back to 4.
Yeah, that's fair.
Standard difficulty because it's plain old English.
1, 2, 3 successes.
3 successes, not bad. Takes you a while to figure out that some of the words there don't make sense. There's a bit of a code that, let's say, 1 in every 5 words has nothing to do with it. You basically narrow down the text to like a third of the original text. The words are still scrambled, but somehow they're in the same general area. You have a feeling that you have you have um, a newspaper article, or actually no, let's just say call it by its name. You have a letter, but someone like scrambled all the words.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's not as long as it's supposed to be, but somehow it bears some meaning. And I'm going to ask you to roll me your oracular ability, which is perception plus awareness difficulty 7.
Perception, awareness, diff 7. Okay. That's not a whole lot of dice. But 3 successes.
3 successes. You write the words on a as you rewrite the words on a fresh piece of paper. You see them glow. Each word gives you a different vibe, different shade of color, different feeling. You cut up the paper in like individual words. You start jumbling them. And you feel your hand like almost guided to push them in the right position. Uh, The headache still kind of, but you power through it. You feel this like sharp pain in the middle of your forehead, and you close your eyes for a second, and just like grab the tip of your nose, the bridge of your nose, sorry, like the bridge of your nose. But as you open your eyes, there's a letter. It makes sense. It reads, "Dear sister, dear sisters, I'm writing you in a time of dire need," etc., etc., etc. I shall give you all this in a private message. This whole letter,
Mm-hmm.
but it describes a spell, a ritual. It's called the Book of Heaven, or it's named in this letter the Book of Heaven. It might go by other words. It explains how the Sheshati, which is the proper word to call the Shea, members of House Sheabai, which practically deduce from the letter, use it to draw maps of the heavens. It's sort of like an astrology mixed with fortune telling, mixed with general knowledge accumulation. Uh, it's something that you have a feeling you could and most likely should do. But it speaks about doing it under the full moon, under the open sky. And unless you want to add anything else, I believe we can call this a scene.
Nope. If she can, then she will definitely write everything down in her dream diary. Um,
Those pieces of paper aren't going anywhere.
no, but I like literal. Oh, whatever. That's cool. Anyway, yeah.
Just for the sake of flavor,
Mm-hmm.
the moment you pick up your bed sheet,
Yeah.
it's clean.
Hmm.
As in, it's not clean, but there's no writing on it anymore.
No. Cool. So yeah, she'll carefully tuck the pieces of paper away in her dream diary, and yeah, we can end the scene there. As she's going to try and find something to put into her terribly upset stomach. She's not quite sure what's going to work, but at least make sure that she's going to drink up on water. And yeah, thank you, ST, for STing, and watchers for watching. This was another scene for Living World of Darkness Mage Venue.